Hey guys, today's story is Little Red Riding Hood. And I'm sure you guys have heard this story, but remember there's lots of different endings to the story. So I have this Little Red Riding Hood. I have a different one. This one's in Spanish. I have Little Red Riding Hood. There's another one. And I have another type. Okay, so let's see. Little Red Riding Hood. This one is illustrated by John Kurtz. And it is written by Jump at the Sun Fairy Tale Classics. Once upon a time, there was a young girl whose cheeks were as red as candied apples. Her grandmother sewed her bright red cape so her mother could keep track of her even from far away. Wherever she went, people called out, "There goes the girl in the little red riding cape." Before long, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, right there they said something. They said the young girl whose cheeks were as red as candied apples. So that's a simile. So they're comparing her cheeks to what? Apples. But Little Red Riding Hood didn't like her red cape, and sometimes she hid it inside when she went out to play. Her favorite thing to do was visit her grandmother. On the way, she loved to smell the tulips. She loved to play with the butterflies, and she loved to listen to birds. She loved to watch the bees. But when she got home, her mother scolded her. "Always wear your cape, Red Riding Hood. It will help protect you." One day, Red Riding Hood's mother gave her a basket filled with goodies to take to her grandmother, who had a tummy ache. "Bring these to Grandma and do not stop along the way," she said. "The forest can be fun, but danger lurks in there as well." Little Red Riding Hood marched along through the forest. She did not stop on the way to smell the tulips. She did not stop to play with the butterflies, and she did not stop to listen to birds. She did not stop to watch the bees. "Stop, Little Red Riding Hood," said a firm voice behind a tall fern. Red Riding Hood was frightened by the voice. "I cannot stop," she said, and she didn't. "Where are you going?" A wolf trotted close behind her. "I'm going to my grandma's house. I'm bringing her treats that will make her feel better." "I will help you carry them," said the wolf. "No," said Red Riding Hood, "and I think I better not talk to you any longer." Should she have told that wolf where she was going? With that, Red Riding Hood left the wolf behind, but this was no ordinary wolf, you see. He was quite clever. He raced ahead to Grandma's house. He knew the way, for he had once tried to blow the house in. The knock approached the door. The wolf approached the door. "Knock, knock." "Who is it?" replied Grandma, wrapped tightly in her bedclothes. "It is I, your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf in his highest, squeakiest little girl voice. So he said, "It is I, your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood." Well, Grandma knew that this was no little girl's voice. She slammed the front door and ran out the back door. She was in great danger. The wolf turned the doorknob and leaped inside. Since Grandma had escaped, the wolf lay in wait for Red Riding Hood. He disguised himself in Grandma's clothes and crawled in bed. Very soon, there was a knock at the door. Who do you think's there now? "Knock, knock." "Who is it?" asked the wolf in his best scratchy, shaky old lady voice. "It is I, your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, do come in," said the grandmother in disguise. Slowly, Little Red Riding Hood walked inside. She could barely see, but she knew something was not right. "Come closer, dear," said the wolf. "What do you have in that basket for me?" Red Riding Hood inched her way to the wolf's side, squinting to get a better look at him. "Oh, Grandma, What big eyes you have, she said, startled. That way I can see you better, my pretty, the wolf snorted. Red Riding Hood took another step closer. Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have. That way I can hear you better, my pretty, the wolf choked. Red Riding Hood was very scared. She took one more teensy step forward. Oh, goodness, Grandma, she cried. What big teeth you have. That way I can eat you better, howled the wolf, who leapt out of the bed and chased Red Riding Hood through the house. Just then there was a knock at the door. Wham! It was the woodcutter and Grandma and Red Riding Hood's mother and some townsfolk. From across the forest they had seen Red Riding Hood's bright red cape flashing inside the cottage windows. They could tell she was in need of help, and they came in a hurry. Well, the wolf knew he was outnumbered, so he scampered out the back door and off into the woods, never to be heard from again. So, wearing that cape she didn't like to wear, it did what? It helped save her, right? And Little Red Riding Hood lived happily and safely from then on, and she wore her little red cape everywhere she went. Okay, so if she wouldn't have listened to her parents and worn her cape, they might not have been able to see her to come save her. So you should do what your parents ask you to do if it keeps you safe. Here's our questions. She loved to visit who? Who was Little Red Riding Hood visiting? What did she wear to protect her? Did the wolf eat the grandmother? Who saved Little Red Riding Hood? There was a group. Who were those people? At the end of the story, what happened to the wolf? Did he eat a pig? Did he run away? What happened? So you guys can answer your questions on your Schoology, or you can write these answers down and send me a picture, or you can tell the answers to your parents. Okay, see you next time. Bye.